Hi, about captive dolphins, how do we know if they are happy in captivity? And can they live like longer in captivity, or like because of the dangers in like the wild open sea and stuff?
I heard the first part of it. How can you tell if they're happy?
Yeah, and can they live longer in captivity?
Can they live in captivity?
Can they live longer, Rick?
Can they live longer in captivity? Okay. Yeah, that is a very popular question about how long they live in captivity as opposed to the wild. And I usually don't go down that road because it's not really about the quantity of life. It's about the quality of life. I could live in this. I've got a really nice room across the street. And if they brought food in every day, I could survive in that room a very, very long time. Would I be living? No. I would be surviving. At some point, I would like to go for a walk. And living is doing things. Dolphins in captivity, some of them survive that for a very long time. Others don't. So it's really about the quantity of life, the quality of life, not the quantity of life.
I think the other part of the
And
question,
you have to understand how difficult it is. If you went to the place yesterday with me, I don't know what it's called, some dolphin park here.
Dolphin Lagoon.
What is it?
Dolphin Lagoon in Sentosa. So.
And if you put a face mask on and stuck your head underwater and saw the habitat of a dolphin, you could understand better. And I used to do that, of course. I lived in those tanks. There's nothing there. It's a bare concrete tank. The dolphin primary sense is sonar. Sound. They live in a world of sound. We are light-oriented. We're visually oriented. That's our primary sense. So when you put them into a concrete box, it's a form of sensory deprivation. Is sensory deprivation stressful? Of course it is. They're also free-ranging, meaning they travel about 50 miles a day doing lots of different stuff. That's another form of sensory deprivation. This is stressful for them. And they're the only animals in the zoo that has to do tricks in order to be fed. The other animals in the zoo don't have to do that. And by the way, if you stop for a moment at the snake exhibit at the zoo and take a good look at the snake habitat. A snake is a small-brained, cold-blooded creature, but it's given more consideration than the dolphins. It has grass, it has some stones, it's got some rocks to get underneath, it's got tree limbs to climb on. But when you put your head underwater and look at the dolphin habitat, there's nothing there. It's a bare box. You wouldn't do that to the snake, but we do it to dolphins all the time without thinking twice. And we bore them to death. So those are just some things to think about that most people don't think about, because like if I was with a reporter yesterday and she's the average person, she doesn't, she only knows what she sees, and we're here and she's asking me questions, and it's really hard to see the problem because the whole thing is an optical illusion. You're dealing with an optical illusion. The dolphins are smiling, which is nature's greatest deception and the thing that gets them in the most trouble. It creates the illusion they're always happy. The water is turquoise, beautiful turquoise color. The music is playing. You're with your family. It's a nice day. What's the problem? I mean, unless you're hitting the dolphin with a baseball bat, you don't see the abuse. So I'm there, and I walked out actually halfway through the interview. I just get so depressed at those places because I can read their body language after 50 years. And I can literally feel what they feel. And so it's not like the tuna dolphin problem or some other problems where it's very black and white. You can see the abuse. With the captive dolphin, you can't see it. It's an illusion. It's an optical illusion. So that's why it's so difficult. I'm struck by the mercury. I was just tested for mercury when I was in Miami, and I'm pretty safe. Because you think I would stop eating fish having watched The Cove, wouldn't you? But I still, the longer a fish has been in the ocean, the more mercury, methyl mercury, PCBs it collects. I want to become a vegan because that's probably the only thing that's going to save the planet. But it's hard. It's really hard. But I'm trying. My wife and my daughter are vegans, and I'm trying to do it too. But meanwhile, I keep sneaking a shrimp occasionally, so. But the thing is, we were at the Tsukiji market in Tokyo, where it's the largest seafood market in the world. And when you go to the tuna section, for example, the tuna room is probably 10 times the size of this room. And there's so much tuna, it's surreal. And it's from all over the world. It comes from everywhere. It comes from all over the world. And we tested it for mercury. The highest levels of mercury were from Boston, not Japan. And so this is a worldwide problem. This is not a Japanese problem. And it's coming from whenever we turn the lights on. We're getting electricity from someplace. It's not magic. It comes from someplace, and it's coming primarily from, more than half of it, from coal-fired plants. And the coal is sending up this pollution into the air, and gravity brings it back down. It enters into the oceans and into the food chain. And, of course, the dolphins and the apex predator fish, swordfish, tuna, and so forth, are the highest levels of mercury. And there is no safe level of mercury. It erases the neurons in your brain. But my point is, we polluted the ocean. In the United States, I used to grow up in the Everglades. The Everglades, we'd go out there camping every weekend, and eat frogs' legs and fish and just spend the weekend there. And you can't do that anymore because it's contaminated with mercury. The Everglades is contaminated with mercury. Every river, every stream, every lake, every creek is contaminated with mercury. And it's coming from these coal-fired plants, and there is a new coal-fired plant going online every week in China. So that problem's not going away. But my point is, we have destroyed, there's no point in saving the dolphin without saving their habitat. That's it. There's no point in saving the dolphin without saving their habitat. And look what we have done to their habitat. I can stop eating fish anytime I want to. They can't.